Rajajanarandana Rasuranandana Rajajanarandana Yamunatira Manachari Yamunatira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Rasudanandana Rajajanarandana Rasudanandana Rajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Sutarasatashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Sutarasatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Kori Vaishnavan Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shri Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopinath Makunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadi Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitaye Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol. All glories to the Assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Mishta Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutarish Vadi Bhakti Vedanta Samini Dhanavane Namaste Saraswati Guru Vari Brachari Nirvisheshvara Vari Brachari. So, can I have the phone? Hare Krishna, everybody. Please write Hare Krishna into the comment section. Keep on writing Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Jai. Shamdai, Hare Krishna, Shamdai. Thank you for tagging. Tony. Hare Krishna, Tony. Neil, Bronwyn, Ganesha Ganapati, Michelle Williams, Jitendra Sharan, Matt Cook. Very nice. Matt Cook has been coming now almost every day. Anybody else? We have 13 viewers.
Frank is back on YouTube.
Frank is back on YouTube. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you also come very often. That's very nice. Very much appreciated. Thank you for joining us. 15 viewers. What about TikTok? Anybody on TikTok? Doris, Hare Krishna. I guess there's hundreds of people on TikTok, huh?
There was at some point.
Louis Barnes, Hare Krishna, Louis. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming.
Then I was showing the picture of Lorna Simha.
They got all scared, eh?
I got striked a little bit. The stream got a little strike.
Strike.
Yeah, so
Why?
then they dropped down to 30, but now they're back at 40.
Why there was a strike?
Because Narasimha picture has like blood in it, I suppose.
Is what?
Well, Lord Narasimha is ripping out the guts from Hiranyakashipu.
Ah, yeah. Censored. You must censor the lila. 16 viewers. Okay, please tag your friends. Share in groups. Like, love, everything together. Thank you. Today we're reading Sri Caitanya Caritamrta about the wonderful ecstatic pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So we take over from Adi Lila, chapter 4, text 30. Adi Lila, chapter 4, text 30. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Neither the gopis nor I shall notice this, for our minds will always be entranced by another's beauty and qualities. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the spiritual sky, the Vaikuntha planets are predominated by Narayan. His devotees have the same features he does, and the exchange of devotion there is on the platform of reverence. But above all these Vaikuntha planets is Goloka, or Krishna-loka, where the original personality of Godhead Krishna fully manifests his pleasure potency in free loving affairs. Since the devotees in the material world know almost nothing about these affairs, the Lord desires to show these affairs to them. In Goloka Vrindavan, there is an exchange of love known as Parakyaras. It is something like the attraction of a married woman for a man other than her husband. In the material world, this sort of relationship is most abominable because it is a perverted reflection of the Parakyaras in the spiritual world, where it is the highest kind of loving affair. Such feelings between the devotee and the Lord are presented by the influence of Yogamaya. Bhagavad Gita states that devotees of the highest grade are under the care of Daivamaya or Yogamaya. Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakatim ashrita. Those who are actually great souls, Mahatmas, are fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, always engaged in the service of the Lord. They are under the care of Daivi Prakati or Yogamaya. Yogamaya creates a situation in which the devotee is prepared to transgress all regulative principles simply to love Krishna. A devotee naturally does not like to transgress the laws of reverence for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but by the influence of Yogamaya, he is prepared to do anything to love the Supreme Lord better. Those under the spell of the material energy cannot at all appreciate the activities of Yogamaya, for a conditioned soul can hardly understand the pure reciprocation between the Lord and his devotee. But by executing devotional service under the regulative principles, one can become very highly elevated and then begin to appreciate the dealings of pure love under the management of Yogamaya. In the spiritual loving sentiment induced by the Yogamaya potency, both Lord Shri Krishna and the damsels of Raj forget themselves in spiritual rapture. By the influence of such forgetfulness, the attractive beauty of the gopis plays a prominent part in the transcendental satisfaction of the Lord, who has nothing to do with mundane sexology. Because spiritual love of Godhead is above everything mundane, the gopis superficially seem to transgress the codes of mundane morality. This perpetually puzzles mundane moralists. Therefore, Yogamaya acts to cover the Lord and his pastimes from the eyes of mundaners, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says that he reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. The acts of Yogamaya make it possible for the Lord and the gopis in loving ecstasy to sometimes meet and sometimes separate. These transcendental loving affairs of the Lord are unimaginable to empiricists involved in the impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth. Therefore, the Lord himself appears before the mundaners to bestow upon them the highest form of spiritual realization and also personally relish its essence. The Lord is so merciful that he himself descends to take the fallen souls back home, back to the kingdom of Godhead, where the erotic principles of Godhead are eternally relished in their real form, distinct from the perverted sexual love so much adored and indulged in by the fallen souls in their diseased condition. The reason the Lord displays the Rasa Lila is essentially to induce all the fallen souls to give up their diseased morality and religiosity and to attract them to the kingdom of God to enjoy the reality. A person who actually understands what the Rasa Lila is will certainly hate to indulge in mundane sex life. For the realized soul, hearing the Lord's Rasa Lila through the proper channel will result in complete abstinence from material sexual pleasure. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Jnanajana Shalakayam Chakshunanminitam yena tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto His lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Please, can you hear the books? You can go outside. Just try, because it's not supposed to be here.
So, neither the gopis nor I, meaning Krishna, shall notice this, for our minds will always be entranced by one another's beauty and qualities. So here is the description of how the Yogamaya potency works. Krishna has two mayas. The Mahamaya that keeps the living entities entrapped in this material world, suffering threefold miseries. And then there is the Yogamaya, and the function of the Yogamaya, is that Yogamaya arranges the pastimes of the Lord and His devotees. Both. Many times we have heard this example, that the spirit soul is just like a drop of oil in a bottle of water. If you see a bottle of water with a tiny little drop of oil, they never mix together. Although they're together, they never merge together. So in the case of Krishna and His pure devotees, they also never mix with the material energy. Same example. Sorry. Although they appear to be inside of this material world, they never actually touch the material elements. Just like the oil. The oil is never affected by the water. So, this we have to keep in mind when we studying the activities of the Lord and His devotees. They never become influenced by this external energy of Krishna, Mahamaya. Mahamaya is like a police. When someone is breaking the law, then he becomes subjected by the force of the police. The police is there to catch him. So long we follow the law, then there should be no problem with the police. Police is simply to root out rascals. So most of the living entities, they reside in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha. And they never come here into this contaminated atmosphere of the material world. Dukhala yamashashvatam, temporary, full of miseries. They enjoy with Krishna in the spiritual world, in their Sat Chit Ananda bodies. Bodies made of eternity, bliss and knowledge. So everything about Krishna is transcendental. Krishna is not only Krishna. Krishna means His name, fame, pastimes, associates, paraphernalia, form, deity, everything. His message, just like the Bhagavad Gita, this is Krishna's message, that is also Krishna. There's a transcendental potency in the spiritual world. And everything is enacted, all the activities are enacted based on the spiritual potency, the Yogamaya. The Mahamaya has a different function. The Mahamaya is chastising those living entities who agreed to come into this material world to so-called enjoy their senses. So there are two main divisions in the spiritual world. Imagine it like a vast spiritual sky with innumerable planets. These planets are called Vaikunthas. Vaikuntha means no anxiety. Here we are constantly full of anxieties because we have falsely identified ourselves with the material body. We're not the body, but due to illusion, Mahamaya, we now think that I am this body. I'm a man, woman, ugly, beautiful, tall, small, black, white. So this is illusion. We have nothing to do with the body. You are separate from the body. You spirit soul. The body comes and goes. You have been given this body at birth, and you have to leave the body at death. But you, the spirit soul, you exist continuously. So, when we are studying the Leela of the Lord, we should not falsely think that because I am contaminated, because I am controlled by this Mahamaya, therefore Krishna also must be controlled. That logic will fail you. You cannot understand God by your mundane logic derived from material principles. In order to understand the Leela, you must hear again from transcendental sources. The spiritual master is a transcendental source of information. So we must hear from a bona fide spiritual master about Krishna. And because the spiritual master is a pure devotee, Uttamadhikari devotee, situated on the highest platform of spiritual advancement, one who has direct access to Krishna. Whatever he says is also transcendental vibration. In the second canto, Srila Prabhupada, in connection with Lord Brahma, Srila Prabhupada writes that the potency of transcendental sound is never minimized by the apparent absence of the vibrator. One who speaks the message might not be physically present, but his vibration should be taken as good as him. Otherwise, if we do not accept this transcendental phenomenon, then the Bhagavad Gita and all the Vedic scriptures, they have no meaning. They have no meaning otherwise. So that is not true. This is transcendental sound. It is so powerful, this transcendental sound, that although the spirit soul does not mix with the material energy, with the material body, even with the material mind and intelligence and ego, the transcendental sound has the ability to reawaken that spirit soul that has been sleeping. We're sleeping in a slumber of tamas, ignorance. This bodily identification. I'm a man, woman, ugly, beautiful, black, white. This is an example of slumber, sleep. We are mistaken in our identification, and based on that false identification, we're performing activities on a misguided platform that you can see in the materialistic society. Everybody's building career, building skyscraper, building family, dynasty, this and that. But we're all gonna die. At one point we have to die. So this is not the aim of life. What is the use? You build a big career, big skyscraper, big following on Instagram. And then you have to leave everything and go somewhere else and again start building. Even Srila Prabhupada, he pointed out that in the Western countries, they built a skyscraper and then they tear it down and they build another one. Better. Just like there's this big skyscraper in Dubai. How do they call it?
The line?
No. Birch, yeah. Birch Khalifa. Burj Khalifa. There's the biggest skyscraper in the world. It's like a 1 mile. So huge, can you imagine? 1 mile. You're above the clouds. But in the future they're gonna build another one. 2 miles, 3 miles. You see, simply wasting time. Srila Prabhupada said that the World Trade Center, in New York, the Twin Towers that were blown, Prabhupada says that at one day they will be the lowest. Because at one point they were the highest buildings, and Prabhupada says that, in the future they will be the lowest. Because there's always competition going on. You build one skyscraper and I build a bigger skyscraper. But you die, I die. So, who has won? Nobody won. Actually, we're all losers. At the time of death, we all lose everything. If you ever felt like a loser, then you can remember that actually, yes, material existence means a loser. You always lose. But if you understand Krishna, then you always win. That is your eternal victory. Just like we say, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This word Jai means victory. You're always victorious because Krishna is supreme. Ajita. No one can conquer Krishna. So if you become a devotee of Krishna also, nobody can conquer you. Even death cannot conquer you. When death personified came to take Dhruva Maharaj, a great devotee of the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj used the head of death to jump on the Vaikuntha airplane. He used the death's head as a stair to get into his Vaikuntha airplane. When devotees are leaving this world and going to the spiritual world, Krishna sent a special taxi, Vaikuntha airplane. We even had a band like that with Makancha Prabhu, Vaikuntha airplane. Very nice airplane. You want to get on that airplane. With that airplane you go and you see all the heavenly planets, how the demigods are enjoying all the opulences. You go to Brahmaloka, you see how the sages are meditating, how Lord Brahma is meditating. Then you penetrate the walls of the material universe, you see big gigantic Mahavishnu. And then you go even further and you reach the Brahma Jyoti. And then you penetrate the Brahma Jyoti and then you see the spiritual sky, Vaikuntha, Goloka. So these two divisions in the spiritual world, they have their significance. In Vaikuntha, Krishna is worshipped as Narayan, opulent form, Narayan. But in Goloka Vrindavan, Goloka is also called Krishna-loka, that is the highest planet of the spiritual sky. Krishna is served in a slightly different way. He is worshipped through spontaneous devotion. He He's worshipped through love. Of course, devotees who are serving Krishna in awe and reverence, they also have love for Krishna. But because of this element of opulence, that love becomes transcendently dependent on the opulences of Krishna. So the highest manifestation of intimacy in the spiritual affairs is this Goloka Rasa, the mood of worshipping Krishna spontaneously, without following necessarily certain rules and regulations. Srila Prabhupada says, one should not be shy in business and in love. Shyness in love is not a good idea. So, similarly, these highly elevated, the topmost elevated devotees, they serve Krishna sometimes in a way that appears to be disrespectful towards Krishna. But it is not disrespectful. Krishna enjoys such relationships. Just like sometimes the lover and the beloved, sometimes they create a quarrel, flirtatious quarrel. So it gives them rasa, it gives them pleasure. They create a fight and they enjoy like this, right? Otherwise the relationship becomes very boring. I love you, you love me, I love you, you love me. It becomes very boring. So sometimes the woman, she manufactures some idea, or sometimes the man is teasing the woman, and this is how they enjoy. So this is the perverted reflection of the mentality in Goloka Vrindavan. When sometimes devotees, they become superior to Krishna. Krishna loves them. He manifested this rasa even in the material world. When Arjuna was fighting the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna agreed to become his chariot driver. He took an inferior position. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that Krishna enjoys more service to his devotee than his direct service. When devotee is serving Krishna, that is nice, but when Krishna can serve the devotees, he enjoys more. Just see how powerful the concept of service is. Even God wants to serve. Even God wants to love. It is so nice. That is why Srimati Radharani, who represents Bhakti Devi, the goddess of devotion, is sometimes considered superior to Krishna. Krishna is called Madan Mohan, the attractor of Cupid. Cupid is the demigod who induces lusty desires in people. Not just people, everywhere. You can see this principle everywhere. But Krishna is attracting thousands and millions and billions and billions and billions and billions, just like Mr. Trump says, millions and billions of cupids. Imagine. We cannot even comprehend how is that possible. How beautiful Krishna must be. We cannot conceive. If you think, oh yeah, I like Krishna because he's very beautiful. You have no idea how beautiful he is. You cannot appreciate. We must become free from all these unnecessary, simple activities, simple mentality. You must get rid of. Then you can appreciate the beauty of Krishna. So, Krishna is so attractive. But, Srimati Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini. She is the attractor of those billions of cupids. She can even attract Krishna. How powerful she is. So that is why Lord Caitanya appears because Krishna wants to taste what Srimati Radharani is tasting. This rasa of service, rasa of devotion. Radharani is enjoying more when Krishna and Radharani are together. Radharani is enjoying more. Just imagine. Krishna is enjoying the service of his devotees, but devotees are enjoying more than Krishna. That devotional service is so powerful. We're speaking of pure devotional service. Right now we're simply practicing. There's 16 rounds, regulative principles. This is our practice. Prabhupada says that if one follows the regulative principles, he becomes very advanced in spiritual understanding. And that makes him qualified to make further progress. Here, by executing devotional service under the regulative principles, one can become very highly elevated and then begin to appreciate the dealings of pure love under the management of Yogamaya. Sometimes Yogamaya becomes so powerful that it acts on Krishna as well. Madan, Mohan, Mohini. Yogamaya is the expansion of Srimati Radharani. So Madan, Mohan, Mohini means that she bewilders even the attractor of millions of cupids. She can bewilder Krishna. So in the same way, Yogamaya acts on Krishna, and Krishna sometimes forgets that he is God. He becomes so much absorbed in loving affairs with his devotees that he forgets that he is God. That is also for his pleasure, because the idea of God necessitates awe and reverence. So the gopis, they lose this idea of reverence. They forget that Krishna is God. And Krishna also forgets that he is God. Both simultaneously. So they forget in order to enjoy this loving relationship without any impediment. Sometimes there is an impediment. This feeling of awe and reverence can become an impediment. So what is important is that we should not prematurely jump artificially into such so-called states of spiritual advancement. One must follow the regulative principles very strictly. The power of Mahamaya is such that she's always trying to bind us and cheat us. So if you're following the regulative principles of bhakti, you should not give it up. Sometimes foolish devotees, they're following strictly and then they think, yes, I'm following, but I have no feeling. I have no feeling. I must be more spontaneous. No, that by itself is not spontaneous. It's artificial. If you have to be spontaneous, you're not spontaneous because you have to. Spontaneous means that by following the regulative principles, these higher teachings will automatically manifest in your heart. And there is no need to advertise. This is simply for you, between you and Krishna. Where we love to advertise ourselves. I am very spiritually advanced. Because still we want praise, worship, distinction, power. Nonsense. A pure devotee, he has Krishna. Here the last sentence, Prabhupada says, for the realized soul, hearing the Lord's Rasa Leela through the proper channel will result in complete abstinence from material sexual pleasure. Janmadi yasayataha. What is the source of sex pleasure? What is the source? Anybody knows?
The mining of the genital.
No.
Pleasing.
Huh?
Pleasing the opposite.
What is it?
Pleasing the opposite.
What is the cause? What is the source? Where is the sex pleasure coming from?
Krishna.
From Krishna. Janmadi yasayataha. Everything emanates from God. Everything is coming from God. You name it. Everything. Yeah, there is no difference. Negative, positive, Christian, Muslim, Satan, Janmadi yasayataha, everything is coming from Krishna. So, if one achieves pure Krishna consciousness, when he connects with Krishna, then automatically the sex pleasure is there. But it is not a perverted sex pleasure. That is the real sex pleasure. You see? So that is why he becomes free from the mundane sex pleasure. Because he is experiencing a higher sex pleasure, a higher satisfaction. You can say he's experiencing the purified sex pleasure. The purified sex pleasure is called? Your wife? Krishna Prema. It's Krishna Prema. The love of Godhead. Imagine how close they are. Sex pleasure and love of Godhead. And yet they're totally the opposites of one another. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he says that the difference between lust and love is like that of gold and iron. They're both metals, but if you go to the bank and you give them some rusty iron and you say, oh, this is gold, then they will send the security and you have to go home. So there's a huge difference. Gold is gold, iron is iron. Similarly, Krishna Prema is one thing and mundane lust is something else. Keep them separate. Don't mix them up. Be very careful. A disciple should have good discrimination. By hearing from the spiritual master, he should learn how to discriminate. This is good for my spiritual advancement. This is not good. I will reject it. Discrimination. The neophyte devotees, because they're not purified, they have no knowledge, they confuse material and spiritual. They think a mundane person in the dress of a Vaishnava is very pure, and a real Vaishnava is impure. They think that religion is irreligion and irreligion is religion. Everything topsy-turvy. This is the curse. So the spiritual master, he opens our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge, and he helps us to discriminate and to decode reality. And that you can see in Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Prabhupada, he says, first deserve, then desire. Some devotees at that time, they came up with a theory that we must read only about the gopis. The gopis, the Rasa Leela, all these highly elevated, confidential pastimes of Krishna. And they argue like that, is that we have to develop desire for these higher rasas. Again, artificially, trying to be spontaneous artificially. Such an oxymoron. So Prabhupada, he responded, he said, first deserve, then desire. You cannot enter into Krishna's bedroom by force. This is just like Krishna's bedroom. You have no business to be there. So all of these rascals, they're simply disturbing Krishna with their so-called devotional service. Follow the regulative principles. The regulative principles are difficult. It's not easy. In Kali Yuga, who can follow these principles? No illicit sex, who can follow that? Hands up. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no nonsense, chanting 60 rounds. Can you do this? Even this is very difficult. And you want to go to the highest perfection just by speculation? You're nonsense. Look at yourself. Look how you're controlled by the senses. When there's a woman passing by, your eyes go immediately. As our friend from Germany says, so you have to be sincere. Krishna consciousness does not require any special qualification. You don't have to be born in India or have a particular brain or a particular education. Anyone from any class, from any country, anyone, he can become the highly elevated devotee. It's a very liberal movement, Krishna consciousness. There's no discrimination. But you must be sincere. That is the qualification. You must be honest. Yes, I am not spiritually purified. I have so many dirty things in my heart. So why should I go now and spoil my spiritual life even more by speculating on these pastimes? Hear from the proper channel. Srila Prabhupada is the proper channel. If you want to understand about these pastimes, hear from him. Don't jump. Sometimes devotees, they read the books of the previous acharyas. This is highly unauthorized. Highly unauthorized. You will simply get confused. Srila Prabhupada wrote so many books just to engage you. Because we have a mind like a monkey. The monkeys are always jumping from one branch to another. Similarly, we're also swiping from one scroll to another scroll, another post. Monkey mind. So to fix your mind, you can jump. Instead of scrolling and posting, you can jump from one book of Prabhupada to another, from one purport to another, from one conversation to another. He left behind so much. It takes so much time to read all of these books. Prabhupada is the most prolific writer on God and religion. But people don't want. Everybody is reading Prabhupada. I want to be special. I have read all the previous acharyas, something that you have never read, and now I'm going to tell you. And sometimes, it becomes very attractive. Novelty is attractive. Something original is attractive always. But that devotee is not sincere. No, sir. Krishna can see his motive. You cannot cheat Krishna. You can cheat people, you can cheat devotees. But Krishna is right there in your heart, having a good laugh. Look at this nonsense. Look how he's trying to be all attractive like me and using such tricks. So don't be after, this is subtle impurity. It is not so gross, it is very subtle. Desire for worship, desire for distinction. We want attention. And that's why we don't want to follow the prescribed methods, rules and regulations. This is the problem. It is simple for the simple, difficult for the crooked. If your mind is crooked, then you cannot practice Krishna consciousness. Very difficult. Krishna consciousness means with Krishna. Krishna must be there in your consciousness. If Krishna is not there, then you have no Krishna consciousness. Externally you might show, but internally there is nothing there. So, these are the activities of Yogamaya and Mahamaya in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna and the gopis. Any questions?
Yes, we have a question.
Mike?
The pastimes of Krishna cannot be understood because it's mentioned in the purport. They can't be understood by mundane people. So the Krishna hides them,
Yes.
but also he comes to manifest them so that such mundane people can be elevated.
Yeah, that is his mercy.
But if he hides them, how can they get the mercy? How can they be attracted? Because they're attracted in the sex desire stage, right? That's why.
He hides because he loves them. That's why he hides. Because if he does not hide these pastimes, they'll be so attractive that you become a devotee and you forget your sense gratification. But because you want sense gratification, he covers it so you can go on and enjoying an illusion. You want the illusion, so Krishna arranges for you. You can remain in illusion.
It is mentioned that he manifests these pastimes, specifically amorous pastimes, to attract people who are attracted to that illusion to come and enjoy with him.
Yes, so, of course, because that's another symptom of his love. That although he gives you the facility to forget him, simultaneously he cannot forget you. Krishna is so kind, so loving, that even you go against him, he's still thinking, how can I bring this rascal back home, back to Godhead?
So, but if he hides the past...
So, when he comes here, he manifests these pastimes to change their mind. Now, they have the free will. They can either be attracted or not attracted. But Krishna must give these two options, always. Otherwise, there is no meaning to the living entity's free will.
But if he hides it, how can they be attracted?
No, he hides them and doesn't hide at the same time.
What does it mean, hide?
Yatamam prapadyante. Read the Bhagavad Gita. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. It's a dynamic interaction with Krishna. It's not that someone is insincere and he's insincere for good. And it's also not that someone is sincere and he doesn't have any failure. It fluctuates. It is not fixed, especially on the neophyte platform. There is no guarantee. One can become a devotee and again become a non-devotee until we come to the Nishta stage. So Krishna is dancing. As you are dancing, you have seen the people dancing tango, the man and woman. So they coordinate together. So you want to dance, so Krishna is matching your dance moves. He's trying to catch you, but you are trying to escape. So simultaneously, he's trying to make you illusioned through the potency of Mahamaya, through his representative. But it's all Krishna. Krishna makes you forgetful and Krishna makes you remember. Krishna is the supreme controller.
So the hiding means that he hides because hiding can mean either he literally you never see it or you don't understand it. So which kind of hiding it is? Because if you never see it, then how can you even have the choice?
He hides it because the people, they're covered by Yogamaya. And why they're covered by Yogamaya? Because they want. So he hides it from that point of view. And then when he wants to attract them, the same. Because people want, they're dissatisfied. So they want transcendental knowledge. So then he gives them the opportunity. Nothing is fixed. You can change. You can be a non-devotee and in 1 second you can change. Now I want. So then Krishna is there.
But what does it mean hiding? Hiding. Then people don't know about them? Like in the USA, people didn't know about Krishna?
Yeah, either they don't know, or even if they know, they know wrongly, like these Mayavadis, in different ways.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question?
There's one by Shamdai.
Yes?
If we are elevated to the spiritual planets but not Goloka, can we still reach Goloka?
Yes. These are transcendental relationships, Swarupa. Everybody has his own Swarupa, his original form and his original relationship with Krishna. That is already there. But in the spiritual world, one can change also his relationship with Krishna. Prabhupada confirms this in a conversation with Rebhatinandan Swami. He says that they can change also. So yeah, you can go to Goloka, but we should keep in mind that this is not a, it's not like Vaikuntha, only losers go to Vaikuntha. There's a spiritual distinction. There's no difference between any of these devotees, but according to their different tastes, they serve Krishna in different rasas. It's not that everybody wants to interact with Krishna on the Madhurya platform, the conjugal platform. Different devotees have different tastes, different preferences. Okay? Anything else?
No.
Maybe YouTube?
I can't see anything. No.
All right. Rantaraj Srimad, Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nidai Gaura Premananda. Hari Hari Bol, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta. Swami Nidinamana Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Vani Gunachari Nandini Vishweshwara Vari Bhashchari Rishtari. Jai. Jai. Hari 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 Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidinamana Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Vani Gunachari Nandini Vishweshwara Vari Bhashchari Rishtari. Jai. Namaste Paraya Krishna Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidinamana Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Vani Gunachari Nandini Vishweshwara Vari Bhashchari Rishtari. How should I call this class? Give me an idea. Give me a suggestion.
How to love.
How to love. Okay.
Spiritual sex.
So turn the folders off.
Spiritual sex will get the most views.
For sure.
Careful.